Hello, Bitcoin Big Knife Zealots, and welcome back to another weekly price analysis for everyone's favorite down-only asset, Bitcoin. Unfortunately, I come today again as a bearer of bad news, depending on how you look at it, as I continue to believe Bitcoin's price will drop. Hold on to your butts as we dive in. But as always, a quick reminder that this is in no way financial advice. It should be seen as entertainment only. I am literally a random lunatic on the internet yelling into the void. With that said, in last week's analysis, I stated that I thought Bitcoin had entered an impulsive move downward. I do believe I was correct, but it's shaping up a bit differently than expected. The link to that analysis is in the description below and linked in the top right if you're interested. So for the previous count, I was kind of right and kind of wrong. Wave 3 was supposed to be much longer. However, in Elliott Wave, predicting the length of a move is really just an estimate based on previous price movements, typical, or how they typically act. The only true requirements in Elliott Wave are the corrective and impulsive market structure breaks. And here's an example of that. So for a 5-wave move, it's like this. The only true requirements are impulse, correction, break this, impulse, correction, break. You get your 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, we did not get the 16.4K before we got another significant correction. What I was looking for was this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And actually, this was lower. I had my target here, but we ended up getting this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason I think these are related is because of the correction length. This one's about 3 days. And then this one I thought was going to be shorter than this, but it ended up being longer at 8 days. So they could be related. What I was really looking for was this correction to be boom, boom, all the way down here. And then we get that final move. So with that in mind, how does that change things? The 5-wave move is still valid, like this. I just think that we head down a bit more toward 18K and then bounce. As you know, or you may know, I'm a fan of harmonic Elliott wave, and in harmonic Elliott wave, we count impulses as 3-wave moves made of an impulse, a correction, and another impulse. So I think we're heading towards 18K, around here. Bounce for longer than wave 4, then proceed with another similar sized impulse. So basically, my suspicion is we're in this sort of triangular impulse. It's a contracting impulse. And that's going to send us down around here. then we do something like this, and then get our second impulse. In terms of a bounce, I wouldn't be surprised to see it head back up towards 20K, as outlined here. I'd really prefer it to not be much longer than this, like a full week of correcting. Otherwise, it starts to look more like sort of corrective move that might be something like going up here, another wave down, and then back up. Once you start moving sideways a lot, you start to think it's corrected. So I'd really like for it to just fly. So where would I be wrong in this case? So the main invalidation is only if wave 5 is longer than wave 3. So wave 3 is about 10.91, and wave 5 cannot be longer than that in a contracting impulse. As soon as it is, it's invalid. So that's what we're looking for. And we're heading down pretty fast, so it's definitely possible. So let's look at the alternate case. To start things off, I see no scenario in which price does not go below 17K. All paths are leading down. The only mildly bullish case is the one that I described last week, and I just sort of outlined a moment ago, where we do some sort of A move. This turns out to be a very weird 3-wave. Something like this, up, down for B, and then up again for C. It's the only way possible, and we'll be entering a really long correction at that point, which I think makes it unlikely. That'd be like, another 2 months. Unlikely. Let me put it that way. I think I gave that a 10% chance last week, and I'm probably sticking with that. And also, just something of note is, again, like I said, all paths lead down. So even if we do that 3-wave move, again, boom, it's got to come below 17K. I don't see any way that this is a bottom. Like, there's just impossible. Unless this is the weirdest looking impulse of all time. Very unlikely. So, I actually, onto my main alternate case. So I do have an alternate case that could become my main case pretty quickly. Basically, it goes a little something like this. So, as I said before, I am a fan of harmonic Elliott Wave, which is a impulse structure for impulsive moves. And yeah, so I think there's about a 50% chance of this. The main hesitation is that wave 4 being this nice triangle, a little bit too perfect for that previous count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because triangles mainly occur in the fourth wave. But they can absolutely occur in B waves, as we see here. So here's what that move would look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the B wave, into just another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a similar length. Again, the only absolute requirement here is that we go past 17K. But a typical ABC at a minimum hits 58 to 61. So we're measuring our A, our B, and then typically measure from the top here. And then so here's our C, and we almost always hit 58, which wouldn't be too hard after going past 17K. I'm sure there's lots of liquidations waiting around there. 58, 76.5 to 80.5. Got little boxes for these. And the typical movement is usually 100 to 114. So that's what we're looking at in terms price drop. From this precise moment, that would be a almost 9% move, 14, 17%, and 21 to 25% from our current price. So 13K, completely in the cards. Scary stuff, isn't it? So yeah, I give that about a 50% chance of happening. I actually think it's quite likely. We'll see. All right. Well, thank you very much for sticking around for my weekly price analysis. And if this was informative and you want to see more of these videos, take some of the buttons below and literally suplex them. Other than that, I'll see you next week for another update. Bitcoin Big Knife out.